Welcome, future history detectives, to this explainer. Okay, today we're cracking open two massive case files. We're looking into the isolation of Tokugawa Japan and the epic, I mean truly epic, global voyages of Ibn Battuta and Zhang He. But to solve these cases, we're going to need our ultimate bilingual gadget, the Acumen worksheet. So let's jump right into the investigation. Now you might be wondering, what exactly is Acumen? Well, it's not just some fancy vocab word for your English class, it is literally your sharpest tool. It's that keen perception you need to grasp really complex ideas, like, say, why an entire country like Japan would suddenly lock its borders for centuries. It's all about making sound, evidence-based judgments to solve a historical mystery.
To build that sharpness, our gadget uses a super powerful 6-step blueprint, perfectly spelled out in the acronym ACUMN. That's Analyze, Capture, Understand, Make Connections, Evaluate, and Narrate. And hey, because we're tracking down clues all over the globe, this explainer toolkit is completely bilingual. Yep, we'll be fluidly using both English and Tagalog. Surin, Kumuha, Unawain, Yugnay, Surin ang Pananaw, and Bumuo, to crack these cases wide open.
Welcome to the detective agency. Remember, history isn't just passive reading. We have to actively hunt for the truth.
Analyze and capture details. This is where we grab our magnifying glasses and look really closely at our first set of clues.
Okay, kicking things off, the A stands for Analyze, or Surian. This is all about breaking the historical question down into manageable parts. The Tagalog instruction hits the nail on the head. Suriing mabuti ang tanong, isalin sa sarili mong salita. Translated into your own words. So, if your teacher asks about the Sakoku Edict of 1635, you analyze and simply translate that to, wait, why did Tokugawa Japan shut out the rest of the world?
So, what specific historical question or mystery are we trying to solve today? Let's open up our other file for a second, comparing the medieval global voyages of Ibn Battuta and Zhang He. When you frame your teacher's assignment as an actual mystery like this, it becomes your ultimate case goal.
Now, what's really interesting about this next step is the precision. C stands for Capture Details, or Kumuha ng Detalye. The instruction here is straightforward. Isulat ang mahahalagang impormasyon, which means write down only the essential information. We are definitely not copying the whole textbook here, guys. For Tokugawa Japan, we just extract the vital clues, like the exact year they banned foreign ships.
To do this right, we use the noting detail technique. This is essentially our checklist for filling out our side-by-side detective cards. We are hunting for key facts, dates, names, and direct evidence. So, for our medieval voyagers, card A captures Ibn Battuta's travels way back in the 1300s, while card B captures Zhang He's massive Ming Dynasty treasure fleets in the 1400s. Doing this ensures no critical piece of evidence slips through the cracks.
Understand the historical context. Knowing the facts just isn't enough. We need to step inside the time machine.
The U here is for understand, or unawain, grasping the meaning and context. Actually, I absolutely love the Tagalog instruction here. Ilagay ang iyong sarili sa panahon ng pangyayari. Put yourself right there in that time period. Let's try it. Imagine you're a Japanese merchant in 1636. Out of nowhere, the shogun announces you can never ever leave the country, or you'll face execution. How would you feel? Why would the government even do this? That is what we call immersive understanding.
Let's visualize this with a quick timeline. First, we gather our clues in the present day. Second, we time travel back to the event to get the historical context. Picture Zhang He commanding a fleet of 300 massive ships versus Ibn Battuta traveling mostly alone on camels and small boats. Third, imagine your actions in those exact settings. When you do that, suddenly those raw dates on your side-by-side cards make perfect sense.
Connect and evaluate clues. Things are getting complex, so it's time to start tying our evidence together.
Moving on. M is to make connections, or ugnay. This means relating details to broader themes. Or as the Tagalog says, ugnay sa mga isyun meron ang daigdig. A top-tier detective looks at the big ripples. Like, why did Tokugawa isolate Japan? If we zoom out globally, we connect it to the aggressive spread of European colonialism and Christianity right on their doorstep. It wasn't just some random rule. It was a massive global reaction.
And this brilliantly illustrates the specific global themes you'll be connecting your evidence to. Is Tokugawa's isolation political or politica, designed to keep the shogun in power? Or maybe it's cultural, cultura, to protect their traditions. And what about our voyagers? While Zhang He's fleets were highly political diplomacy, while Ibn Batutta's travels were deeply cultural and religious. Categorizing your clues like this instantly structures your whole case.
All right, next up is E for evaluate perspectives, or suriing ang pananaw. Here's the thing, witnesses conflict all the time. Suriing ang pananaw ng iba. Pwede mong tanugin ang iyong kaklase. So judge the reliability of the details and definitely ask your fellow detectives, your classmates, for different viewpoints. Who is more reliable? Zhang He's official government-funded imperial records or Ibn Battutta's personal and maybe slightly exaggerated travel diary? You've got to make that call.
Always keep this directive front and center. Judge the reliability and significance of details in answering the historical question. Just remember, not all clues are created equal. A personal diary might have some serious bias, while a government edict could literally just be propaganda. Evaluating these perspectives is what ensures your final case report is absolutely rock solid.
Narrate your final conclusion. We've reached the climax of our investigation. It is officially time to close the case file.
So the crucial point here is N, narrate conclusion or bumuo ng konklusyon. All our hard work culminates right here. You need to construct an evidence-based explanation that clearly answers the question, bumuo ng malaniwa na paliwanag. This is exactly where we write down that Tokugawa Japan isolated to maintain political control against European influence, and it's where we summarize the vast glaring differences between Ibn Battuta and Zhang He's motives.
Okay, before you hand that final dossier over to the chief, aka your teacher, let's run through this final checklist. Is it clear? Is it based on solid evidence? Does it directly answer the teacher's question? And did you actually use all the acumen steps? If you can check off all these boxes, it means your side-by-side detective cards for both Tokugawa and our medieval voyagers are totally complete and ready for submission.
You now officially hold the bilingual key to unlocking the past. We've cracked the Sakoku policy and mapped out global voyages together in this explainer. But the acumen technique, it's always ready for more. So tell me, what historical mystery will you choose to investigate next? Keep questioning, keep digging, and I will see you on the next case.